Hey everybody, this is Kay Asante, and through some unusual circumstances and a bit of sheer luck, I've gotten the opportunity to preview one of my most anticipated games of the year. Before we dive in, I have to give a huge shout out to Compulsion Games, their PR team, and Xbox for giving me access to this preview. Now, without further ado, and the embargo officially lifted, here are my impressions of South of Midnight. This game has been on my radar since its reveal trailer. Everything about it, from the subject matter, which holds deep cultural significance for me, to the striking art style and stop-motion animation reminiscent of Ken: A Bridge of Spirits and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, immediately caught my attention. And then there's the music, which isn't just a background element, but an essential part of the experience. Needless to say, South of Midnight had some big shoes to fill while I waited for preview day and ultimately its full release. But after playing through the preview 3 times before gathering my thoughts, I have to say, this game is shaping up to be something truly special. The preview kicks off with a short stop-motion piece that perfectly sets the tone. Artistic, eerie, sometimes unsettling, yet oddly inviting. From there, we're introduced to a narrator with a thick Cajun English accent setting the stage. You play as Hazel, the protagonist who's making her way through a forest along the river, hoping to find what's left of her home after a devastating storm. Most importantly, she's searching for her mother, who was inside when the storm hit. As she ventures deeper, Hazel begins to see spirits and discovers strange abilities that aid her journey. Then we meet the narrator himself, a massive talking catfish. One of the special things that struck me was how the game delivers its story. In the world, human pain twists reality. The locations where injustices occur give birth to corrupting forces called haints. The game illustrates this through the tragic story of a character named Benji, showing how he ended up in his current state and how you, as a weaver, have the ability to correct old injustices and ease lingering pain. Even in this short preview, the storytelling feels deep and layered, incorporating fables, folklore, and real human emotions. The subject matter is handled with maturity and respect, making it all feel more impactful. And the voice acting? Phenomenal. The Cajun accent isn't just a gimmick, it feels authentic, which is refreshing, especially in a medium where we rarely hear it. Hearing it come from a massive talking catfish? Even better. I've always been a fan of games with great locomotion and traversal, and once you unlock all the movement abilities, South of Midnight firmly establishes itself as a contender among the best in the genre. Dash, wall run, glide, the game gives you plenty of tools to keep moving and avoid touching the ground. The platforming was a pleasant surprise. I didn't expect it to be such a major element, but the way it's designed, hiding collectibles in seemingly unreachable spots, making every successful climb feel like a mini victory. Combat, on the other hand, took some warming up to. My first experience with it felt a bit clunky, but I suspect that's because the preview drops you into the middle of the game, and even with the brief tutorial, it felt a bit jarring at first. On subsequent playthroughs, I started to appreciate it more. You have a mix of spells to pull, push, or stun enemies, and melee attacks, giving you multiple ways to approach encounters. My biggest nitpick is the combat arenas. You enter a section of the map, an event triggers, sealing you in with the waves of enemies. While it ramps up in intensity, it can feel cramped at times depending on the encounter. Visually, South of Midnight is stunning. The world has a painterly, artistic look, sometimes veering into darker, eerie territory, but mostly vibrant and colorful. The exaggerated character designs and Hazel's stop-motion movement blend seamlessly, making the game feel distinct and immersive. The music isn't just an afterthought here. It's woven into the fabric of the game. In some cases, music delivers lore and story context, enhancing the experience in ways you don't always notice at first. Walking into certain areas triggers perfectly timed needle drops, setting the mood and giving subtle narrative cues. One of the most powerful moments was how the story of Benji was told. Without spoiling anything, I'll just say the way music complemented the emotional beats was masterful. It's all handled with such style and subtlety that if you're not paying attention, you might not even realize how much it's influencing your experience. Of course, this is a preview build, so I expected some rough edges that will undoubtedly be smoothed out before launch. But for the sake of transparency, some screen tearing was noticeable in some sections. Character models lacked full detail, particularly in some of the ghost sequences, making some of the scenes seem a little unfinished. That said, none of these issues dampened my excitement. Compulsion Games has clearly put a lot of care and respect into this project, both in terms of cultural representation and gameplay design. The traversal system is a highlight, the storytelling is compelling, and the art direction makes the game stand out. I can't wait to see if South of Midnight sticks the landing, but from what I've played so far, this game is something special. For more great gaming discussions, reviews, previews, and even some tech talk, you know the channel you're on. Stick with GCP. And thank you for watching the preview coverage for South of Midnight.